I am Keith Parnell, and I am here with Peggy Perry-Hill, John Two-Hawks, and David Blankenship. John and David have combined forces to become the acoustic duo A-Chord. And Peggy, you came up with the name A-Chord. Tell us a little bit about how that came to be.
I didn't want to call it John and Dave. You know, when you have a band or you have a duo or something, I thought, I don't want to call it, I could call it John and Dave. They're both well known around here and stuff, but so I started looking at words that are synonymous with peace, and I found A-Chord. And then I thought, chord, that's music, A-Chord, that's the two of them. And then I decided music equals peace. So the music and the songs that they're choosing are songs that mean something. You know, they may be songs about justice or about love, but they mean something.
The music is so inspiring, heart-reaching. There's a real spiritual dynamic to it. Wanted to know a little bit about how you came together and decided to form A-Chord. David, I know you wanted to talk about that.
We got to know each other over breakfast, and I would ask questions, and they led to conversations, and we just got along. And the conversations worked real well. And then that developed into the music. And it turns out that when this opportunity to form A-Chord came along, you know, and I'm still not so sure John didn't do it just as a favor because I'd been really sick with a heart problem. And it just came on at the right place. I never thought my guitar career would ever do much more. I mean, I was very grateful for Los Roscoes, but figured that was about it. They kept pushing me. I resented it at first because I liked playing my electric guitar, and that's all I did, and literally never touched an acoustic. So it turns out it's a whole different instrument and a whole different set of tricks, a whole different set of ways to play. And we have created, are beginning to create a sound that's really nice. And I think it's going to go. I was knocked out, really knocked out with John's singing. Made me practice a little harder. And I need all that. And this was well needed in my life, and it's just come on at the right time. I'm so excited about it. And it's good for me on a personal level to be around these two, John and Peggy. Spiritually, it's been wonderful for me. And another thing to be grateful for up here in Eureka Springs, where it's so beautiful. Just it's a blessing for me. It's a blessing to learn to play acoustic guitar. And it's a blessing to work with John. And I remember being very flattered when he pulled out his flute and we start playing flute and guitar. But it's allowing me to relearn some of my classical guitar training and mix it in with the 40 years I've spent playing blues music. Yeah. We can make things soft and pretty and meditative, and we can throw down and get people up on their feet both. It's you know, it's all about the audience. It's how the audience goes away with something that makes them feel better. You know, and I feel like it's a gift from God if it wasn't something he just did to throw me a bone to try to keep me from dying. And I'm still wondering about that to a certain degree. Either way, I appreciate it. Yeah. But I couldn't be happier. Couldn't be happier.
John, tell us about your history with acoustic guitar and your relationship and partnership with David on this.
I started playing the guitar when I was 4. And it was the first instrument I ever played. And so it really, I mean, the guitar to me it's my first musical love, really. And I don't remember this, but my dad said I was playing harmonics on his classical guitar when I was 4 years old. I have no recollection of it, but he told me that story. And so I've had a long, long love affair with the guitar. But when I got serious about guitar, I was 9. And my dad traded in my trombone for, I hated that thing. And I played it, I could play it, it was fine, but everyone in the band called it a slush pump, and I did not want to be the slush pump guy. So I think my dad must have caught wind of that or something, but one day he said, "Hey, how would you like to trade your trombone in for a guitar?" And I was all on for that. So anyway, we got a guitar, and then my dad sat me down and he gave me the magic chord accompaniment sheet, and I still have it. It's actually sitting right over there on that music stand. And he showed me my first 6 chords and started, that's how it started with me. But he insisted to me to learn to play the acoustic guitar. He said, learn to play that first. He said, if you learn to play that guitar, an electric guitar will be like a walk in the park. And I never knew what he meant by that until the first time I picked up an electric guitar after having played the acoustic guitar for years. I was like, wow, my dad was so right about that. Because the action on an electric guitar is almost non-existent compared to an acoustic, It's just incredible how much different it is. So when David switched from the electric to the acoustic, this is a guy who I have a great amount of respect for as a musician. And I've watched him play. I've been to their Los Roscoe shows. We've played together. I've watched him play that electric guitar, and the guy can make it sit up and do a jig for you. And so it didn't really occur to me switching from electric to acoustic what it would be. And so I have watched as David, I gently nudged him. When are you getting an acoustic? When are you going to get your acoustic? You want to borrow mine? I got 6 of them downstairs. And a couple times he did borrow mine for photo shoots. He just posed with them. And then we get back to playing and he'd have his electric, which was fine. And we were doing great and we were learning things and we were getting gelling. But then he got this guy out and got it restrung and started bringing it. And I'll never forget after the first rehearsal with this acoustic, this guy who's played guitar for 40 years, he came in and I had been complaining because I had gotten out of practice with my guitar, so my fingers got soft. And so when I would play, it was just agony after about 2 songs. You got to get your calluses built up to really play guitar well, and especially acoustic. And so David came back to the next rehearsal and he said, "Man, I'm feeling like you now." He said, "My fingers were killing me after that last rehearsal." And so he's not kidding when he said it's like a new instrument. It's like having to learn something new, even though it is similar, chording and everything, all that's the same, but it is different in the way it plays, the way to make it sing. And in our last rehearsal, David comes in every time and he has done something. He's been rehearsing, he's listening to the songs that we're covering, and he's working on them. And he'll come in here, and before a word is hardly said, he'll start playing on this guitar something that he's been working on. And at our last rehearsal, he worked on a song by Iris DeMint called "My Life" that we perform, and it's one of my favorite songs. It's actually Peggy's, probably her all-time favorite. And he sat down and he started playing this like unbelievable, beautiful sort of picking parts and like, these like patterns. And I heard it and I immediately recognized it, but I couldn't quite figure what it was from. So I sat there for about 5, maybe a few minutes. And finally I said to David, I know this song. What is it? And then he finally told me, this is My Life. And I said, oh, you got to be kidding me. So quickly I got my guitar, we ran through it. We've been playing this song now for months. Mm-hmm. But David showed up at the last rehearsal with this new thing that he added to the song, and it just took on a whole nother life. I mean, it became more than what we had been doing previously. And so we're we're still growing. We're still gelling. We're still figuring out, what we want to do musically, how we want to express these songs. But we're very adamant that we are not the brown-eyed girl group. Mm-hmm. We're not the Freebird group. We're picking songs that will move you. They're songs with heart. But we also do songs that, everybody knows, Get Together is a good one, that we do. We do Mellencamp, we do Dylan, we do some Beatles stuff, we got that Elton John. We got some Elton John stuff we're working on. We got a Johnny Cash. We're working on lots of different types of music. And for me, I will tell you, just for me, from my standpoint, for somebody that has performed with the Native American flute for 30 years, who started off as a lead singer of rock bands and metal bands, and actually went from that to doing folk music. I actually had a brief stint as a folk musician, playing my guitar and singing songs. And then it was right after that my flute music career took off. And so, having done that for 30 years, it's nice to do something different. It's really nice to get back to the guitar, that lifetime love affair that I have with that instrument, and to be able to sing again. Because a lot of people don't know that I sing. They hear my music, they think of my music, and they think of the flute, and rightfully so. Mm-hmm. But I'm a singer, and I haven't gotten to do that very much in my career, and so it is really nice. Thank you, David. It's really nice to be able to do it again, and we're having a great time with this. It means a lot to me to gel and to be close to the person I'm working with musically. To have a relationship and a friendship that is deep. So deep that he knows where I'm going when I do something musically, and I know where he's going. And that comes with a relationship. So sometimes we just talk. Peggy will say, "Did you play any music?" And I'll be like, "Well, we did one song, but we did play music. We just didn't play a guitar." And I think it's telling the story. And being able to impart a story. There's one thing about music that to me has always mattered the absolute most, and that is that every note is sacred. That every note you play, every note you sing should be marinated in power. It should be it should be infused with so much feeling. You should be able to be in the song you're singing or you're sharing. You should be able to be imparting that so that when people hear it, they are moved. They get goosebumps. They get emotional. They feel something. The greatest compliment I get after I do a show with my flutes and stuff is, "Oh my goodness, I was in tears." That to me is, when I hear that, I'm like, I did it. I managed it. Somehow I got myself out of the way and let that spirit come through the conduit, and it got to them. That's what I want. I don't want to be in the way of it. And that's why we rehearse so much, because we don't want our clunkiness to impede the sort of power, the flow of power of the song. We want that story to get through. And so we rehearse so that all that other stuff, that clunkiness goes away and becomes second nature. And then you can really flow with the music and with the story of the song.
Now let's hear some music.
My life, it don't count for nothing. I look at this world, I feel so small. My life, it's only a season, a passing September that no one will recall. But I gave joy to my mother, and I made my lover smile. And I can give comfort to my friends when they're hurting. I can make it seem better for a while. My life, it's half the way traveled, and still I have not found my way out of this night. My life, it's tangled in wishes of so many things that just never turned out right. But I gave joy to my mother, and I made my lover smile, and I can give comfort to my friends when they're hurting. I can make it seem better. I can make it seem better. I can make it seem better for a while.
Beautiful. Thank you both. I want to go back to Peggy now. Tell us about how we can connect with A-Chord.
Well, there is an A-Chord Facebook page. And I think that's probably a good place there. I think my phone number is on that. Yeah. So, they can get a hold of Peggy Perry Hill. Get on A-Chord's Facebook and like it when you get on there, like that page. And you can contact me that way.
And so what kind of events? Birthdays?
Oh, well, we like private parties and a wedding, maybe conferences, house concerts, places where you might find peaceful music, laughter, love, enjoyment, appreciation of music, that kind of stuff. It's a wide variety. Birthdays are fine, anniversaries, retirements, parties, all those are great.
And what are the next events where we can hear John and David?
There's 3 that right now that John and David are doing. And so the first one is going to be with John Two-Hawks and David Blankenship, A-Chord, at the LaGrange Lavender Farm. And they're going to have a lavender festival with all kinds of activities. There's going to be massage in the lavender fields. There's going to be food trucks and vendors, and John and David are going to play from 1 to 3 on Saturday. And also the following week they're doing a private event, and then they're going to be at Magnolia House on June 28th, where they're going to be doing a dinner concert. So it'll be dinner and music. And all those dates will be listed on the Facebook page, and we'll add as we get more.
Okay.
So I hope to see you at the Lavender Festival. It's going to be an amazing time. It's a beautiful place.
Peggy, John, David, it's been a pleasure speaking with you all today. All the best, and we will see you at the Lavender Farm. Thanks for your time.